listen for the storm. Hear the difference in the wind. When dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again. Far away when the hurricane comes in. Far away when the hurricane, oh, that old hurricane comes.
Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Delta South Grain and Harvest. I hope you're keeping well and having a lovely day. So, let's start off with a word of warning. If you are running Advanced Damage System and you get an engine warning light on your dashboard, please take heed. Don't do what I did and just kind of ignore it and hope that it'll just keep on going for a little bit longer. Yeah, that's what I did, and now it's, as near as it makes no difference, it's completely dead. The engine warning light went from orange to red. And then it started to sound like a bag of spanners, and then it's completely, it's gone into kind of limp mode. It only does maybe 3, 4, 5 miles an hour if I'm lucky. So yeah, take notice of that engine warning light, folks, if it does come on, because otherwise it's likely to cost you. But there you go, I've just turned it on. You can see my bright red engine warning light there in the bottom right-hand corner. And yeah, you can hear that nasty ticking, knocking noise like it's like tappets on an old Ford CVH engine, isn't it? But it's, yeah, it's rough. So I don't want to kill it any more than I already have done. So we've got the low loader come down to pick it up out the field. We get a bit of a weird thing there when the step on folds itself back down again. But yeah, I've got the low loader down here from the shop to come and pick me up out the field, because I wasn't going to try and drive it back or anything like that. I kind of figured I need to sort this one out. But it's because the reason why this has happened, because I fell down a bit of a rabbit hole with soil and fertilizer yet again. I did get the job finished by using the Case Magnum and the Best Way sprayer, which again is back in for the Magnum is back in for another service. I think in the last episode we dropped the Magnum in for a service, and I did say that the Patriot here was due a service, so I needed to get it done. But I didn't want to, because I fell down a rabbit hole while the Magnum was still in for its service. I then jumped in. I didn't want to lose this one because it was my only other sprayer, so that's why I've ended up where I am now with no spraying implements whatsoever at the minute, because the Magnum is currently being serviced, and obviously I can't do anything with this one, can I? But yeah, I fell down a rabbit hole with soil and fertilizer because I was just trying to neaten up the PDA essentially, and just trying to, again, just get a better understanding of what's going on. I don't know why it's been particularly difficult for me on this particular save, but it has been. It's just been a bit awkward, and I think it started off possibly with the fact that I started off this save with the start in spring mod, and the start in spring mod, I believe, like resets every field, so every field had absolutely 0 products in there. Whether that's got anything to do with why I've had difficulties on this, I don't know. But there are many reasons, of course. It is what it is. But yeah, I was just trying to neaten up the PDA. So, and I have kind of managed to do that in a roundabout way. So, jumping back into soil and fertilizer here. Now, it was always very, very stripy. And in my simple man mind, it's always been green good, red bad, and everything in between kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I was always trying to aim for a green finish in the PDA, whether that's nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium, or lime. But I haven't actually done anything else with lime. I've just been focusing on the potassium, the phosphorus, and the nitrogen. But again, even of those three, I've been mainly focusing on the phosphorus and the potassium, because that was the one that was a bit more of a scrappy finish to the PDA here. But yeah, sure enough, I have managed to neaten it up. There was a lot of red stripes in the field PDAs here, but giving it a second application seems to have remedied that. Now, yes, it's in places. I mean, it's still okay. It's not been over phosphorused, if that makes any sense. But there are still a few places here that still say it's 1 part per million shy in there, as you can see. But you know what? It is what it is. There's still And there's another one there, 1 part per million shy. But yeah, I just spent a bit of time just trying to neaten up the PDA, and I even went over the cotton field here as well, with potash, and it's the potash that's gone up quite a bit. The target for soybeans is 220 parts per million, and because I've gone over it, where again with a second application with liquid potash, it's taken it from whatever it was before to we're now way over 364 parts per million. So I have overused a lot of liquid potash, but again, it's just, getting used to the mod, because it is such an incredibly complicated mod. Getting used to it, understanding how it works. Do you know what I mean? Just trying to, and again, like I said before, in my simple head, green good, red bad, and and I was mainly trying to get rid of the red strips in the field. So yeah, that was what I was doing. So I have actually spent quite a few hours in between episodes, with time stood still, of course, just to get an idea of what I was doing and trying to make things look a bit better in the PDA. But anyway, so let's bring up auto drive and we'll send you down to the workshop. There we go, off you go. We'll catch you up in a bit. We're going to go and meet him down at the workshop. So because I did mention in the last episode as well that I was considering selling the one of our the smallest of our tractors, actually, the Case Puma, and I think I'm going to do that. But I am also going to sell another bit of equipment that we've had on the farm that we haven't actually used yet, disappointingly, and I'll show you what that is in a minute when we get there. But that came about during the time that I spent falling down yet another soil and fertilizer rabbit hole. So we'll take a quick jog through the woods here back to the farm, and I'll pick you up at the shed, where we'll be jumping in the Case, going down to the shop, selling that. We're going to be getting a fair bit of money into the bank from selling the tractor and the other implement that we're going to be getting rid of, but we're going to be investing it straight back into the farm, of course, because there's no point having money in the bank when I can be buying new land. So yeah, that's the idea. Get ourselves a new field. So I'll see you at the shed in a second. Right then, so this is it. It's the anhydrous toolbar and its accompanying tank. Now, I'm a bit gutted that I haven't really properly been able to use this. One of the reasons why I did select this as one of my bits of starting equipment at the very beginning of the series was because I started with soil and fertilizer, and I saw that soil and fertilizer supports anhydrous ammonia. Hence the reason for the gigantic anhydrous tank there. But I haven't really been able to get it to work properly, frustratingly. I did put it to the test, because I've done it, again, at the same time as messing around with soil and fertilizer off camera in between episodes. I did put this to the test just to make sure that I knew what I was doing with it, and that I would be able to jump into an episode, hit record, and not have to muck around not knowing what was going on. Now, obviously, this is a cultivator and an anhydrous toolbar, so you can cultivate and apply anhydrous into the soil. You kind of drill it into the soil as you go. Now, this particular one doesn't seem to work. Sorry, that's technically incorrect. It does work, but it doesn't at the same time. So it does, when I was running it, it was applying some anhydrous to the field, but soil and fertilizer wasn't necessarily recognizing it properly, and it wasn't emptying from the tank. This tank stayed at 100% full. You can turn on the toolbar here and it goes green in the top left hand corner, and it activates, and that's all good, but the tank doesn't turn on. Now, whether it's meant to or not, I don't know. I do have another mod installed. I haven't got it on the farm, but it's a John Deere variant called the 2510H, I think it's called. That is essentially the same thing. It's a little bit narrower, and it comes with its own accompanying tow behind tank as well. And when you run that, and I did test it, that works perfectly fine. And it does turn on. Both implements turn on when you activate them, and it applies the anhydrous into the soil, and it also depletes from the tank as you're progressing through the field. So in my head it was working properly, but this one just didn't seem to work properly. Now, I know it does work perfectly fine as a mod. I'm not actually, I'm not bad-mouthing the mod whatsoever. It works perfectly fine, because I have used it before on other maps, on other US maps, in testing, and it works perfectly fine. I think it's the combination of this and soil and fertilizer, I think. Don't hold me to that, but again, I've done nothing but have problems on this save game, so this is just, I'm just chalking this up to yet another problem. But yeah, so because of that, and because it doesn't work necessarily exactly as I want it to, I'm just going to get rid of it, and we're going to invest the money that we make from it back into the farm in the form of land. So yeah, and the same goes for this 170 here. I did mention a couple of episodes ago that it's got a little bit of a weird kind of gearbox problem sometimes when you when I run it, especially because, you know, those of you who do watch my content know I do like to use Courseplay and Auto Drive a lot, and yeah, it gets stuck in gear, and it's quite frustrating. Do you know what? Do you know what as well? Sod's Law. When I'm driving here down to the shop to get shut of it, it'll probably work just fine, won't it? But at the same time, I know I fully appreciate that the amount of equipment that I do have on this farm, especially the amount of tractors, has been quite indulgent, let's be honest, hasn't it? It's been, I do have quite a few, and the other Puma that we've got is more powerful than this one. It still has a front PTO and a front bracket if I needed to run equipment on the front, so do you know what I mean? I don't necessarily need this one, so we're going to get shut of it. And collectively, this is worth at the minute about 110 grand. The anhydrous toolbar behind me plus its tank is worth roughly about 100 grand together. So we're going to get another just north of 200 grand into the bank. That'll bring the bank balance up to just north of 430, 440 something. But yeah, then we're going to spend most of that again and get ourselves another field, which I'll go into in a bit more detail very shortly. But for now, I shall crack on with this, get down to the shop, and I'll see you there. And we'll get rid of this, and we'll find out how much it's going to cost me to fix my Patriot that I've destroyed. So I'll see you down there in a minute. Right then, here we are, down at the shop, the workshop area, where we've got all these used dealerships as well, which I do need to have a bit of a peruse around, because we still actually don't have everything that we need on the farm. The one thing I don't actually have is a mower of any description, or a windrower, or a mower that windrows. So yeah, need to certainly invest in something very, very soon, because the grass is going to be ready to cut very soon. Right, have I got everything in? Doesn't look like it. Let's just turn that off anyway and see how far we get with this. Oh, forgot to open the door. So, has it got it all in? Oh, it has. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. Okay. So, yeah, this is about right. I think 24,754.94. I think that's a little bit more than what I was expecting. I need to just confirm that, actually. If I go into my garage menu, go to the subsoilers here. Yeah, 85,882. That's what I've done my sums to. I'm actually getting more for it here at the minute. Right, okay. So, anyway, we're going to sell that. Yep. We're going to sell that. And we are going to sell you 120. How much more am I making on that, actually? Out of interest. Medium tractors. This is us. 110,576. 121,634. That'll do. That will do just fine. Yeah, let's get rid of you. Right. Sorted. Right, and they have put this in there for me as well, haven't they? So, let's get this thing. Click on repair. See, it's interesting, this, isn't it? It's of condition and service, optimal, and condition is excellent. It's bloody well not. There are no breakdowns, or they have not yet been detected. Well, it has, because it's bloody knackered. Right, repair any faults found. This is going to, what's this going to cost me? Where are we? $3,030 tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon. Right, it is what it is. That's fine. Excellent. Right, okay. But yeah, like I said, we haven't actually got a mower of any description yet. So I'm hoping something pops up in the. We've got 3 used vehicle lots here on the map on the save game here. Hey, that's a big butt there. I definitely don't need any more tractors, do I? But just out of interest, how much is this whopper? It normally says on the number plate that. There we go, 263, 240. Not bad. But anyway, yeah, I've got enough tractors. I've just sold one. So, yeah. But yeah, I do have my eye on one particular mower that I feel is relatively geographically correct, and it's a Vermeer side mower, and I think it's thinking about finances at the same time. I think that's probably going to be the best option, because I can buy. I'll show you what I'm thinking about anyway. So if I go into the mowers here, so normally I beeline for the Samaz, the KDD, and the KDF there, because these have a windrowing function as well. but they're quite expensive. Collectively, that's $85,000 there, but I could pick up this Vermeer side mower for $49.5 and also pick up a, again, the relatively basic Samaz Z2 windrow here for just under 20 grand, and I've saved a bit of money there, so that's probably the sensible thing to do, isn't it? Thinking about it. But do you know what? Instead of spending all this time walking along, let's just jump into flight mode, and I'll show you where my mind's going. And it's this massive field here in the middle. This is field 69, and it is 104 acres of arable land. This is where I was going with it. This is where I'm thinking of what I'm thinking of investing in. And the price is $361,000. So that'll give us a little bit of money left over in the bank if we do go for this. And I think we should. Yeah, come on. Let's just do it. Let's not think about it. So just under 78 grand left in the bank. There we go. It was it was a field of corn. Yes, I have changed that because of the way that starting spring did this map. It just essentially reset every field to this texture, so there's nothing in any of the fields. But I'm not a fan of this. It's a ready to harvest texture. That's essentially what this is, but it's plowed like furrows, and it just doesn't add up to me. So anyway, yeah, this is where we are. But if I bring up the soil monitor, as you'll see, there is absolutely zero of any products in the field at all. And this is what it was like I say, when I started out with the starting spring mod. There's no nitrogen, no phosphorus, no potassium, and it does say 5.0 of lime, but there's no lime. So it's in very poor condition, this field is. So yeah, we need to get started in it. And one of the things that, well, the first thing we should do is run the cultivator and get rid of the previous harvested crop of corn. We need to get rid of that. And of course, we don't actually have any, we don't actually have an accessible sprayer at the minute to be able to use to start topping it up. So I think what I might do is we're gonna dig the cultivator out, the big lad, and get running in there first, and then we might take on a contract, a seeding contract, because there is one. I'll just come out of flight mode here. There is a seeding contract that's paying somewhere in the region of about 18 grand, I think it is. Let's just jump in and have a look-see. Yeah, 18,656 to sow some sorghum into field 97. So yeah, considering where we are monetary wise now, 77, so it'll bring us closer to the 100 grand mark, which is just a nice place to be in it. So I think we shall accept that contract. There we go, contract started. Yep, we've got our own equipment, so we don't need to worry about that. But it is 25 to 7 at night, so I think we'll call it a day for this in-game day, and we'll pick back up in the morning and get ready to rock and roll. Now there's this damn case planter. You see what I mean about it wandering off? Look at that. And this is something that I have to do constantly now. Does anyone know how to fix this? Because it does drive me slightly crazy. It just does not sit still, and it is really starting to annoy me. No matter what you do, it just creeps. See, look at that. It's just constantly creeping. It's creeping the other way now. But this happened to me before hitting record. It was doing the same thing. I got it to stand still, and now it's even moved that thing. It's even nudged that out the way as well. Let's pick that up. Forgive my use of super strength, folks. This is let's move that out the way, actually. Over here for now. Yeah, forgive my use of super strength. It's just been a case of, I mean, what do you do when machinery starts wandering off like that? This one's an absolute bugger for it. Everything else is fine, but this isn't, and it drives me mental. So yeah, if you do know, if anyone does have any way of knowing how to fix this aside from just wedging it between, wedging it against a wall or between bits of machinery, please do let me know, because I'm not too far away from losing my rag with that as well and saying, right, we're going to get another one. I was advised over on my Discord by I think it was Sandman, I think it might have been, forgive me, or it might have been South, actually, I think it was South, who said the DB120 John Deere planter seemed to work a lot better than that did, and using that one, he didn't have the same problem I had with missing bits in fields. But I've got a case-branded farm, it's all red, I feel a bit odd, you know, having anything John Deere on the farm. That's why I didn't swap the anhydrous toolbar out for the John Deere thing, because I don't have anything on the farm that's John Deere, so I think it just wouldn't sit right. Do you know what I mean? So I'm a bit hesitant to buy another a John Deere planter. So anyway, let's like I say, call it a day for this in-game day. Let's go and give the dog his food, shall we? Where are you? There you go. Have some tea. He'll come running. So yeah, I'll pick you up in the morning. Hopefully the weather will be good as well, actually. Morning, folks. The weather's great, as it happens. We've got some rain forecast, some quite heavy-looking rain, actually, forecast about 8 o'clock tonight. But it's only just gone 8 o'clock in the morning, so we've got plenty of time ahead of us, hopefully, to get this cultivating job done in our new field, which I'm very much looking forward to, and also sorting this contract out as well, which gives us plenty. Well, we've got plenty of time for that, haven't we? So, right, so while that's warming up, let's get you folded up. Looks like you've had a bit of a wander as well. You're not perfectly straight as I left you. Is it something that's just particular to very big equipment? I don't know. But, yeah. I left this perfectly straight. Anyway, right. So, let's get ourselves out of here. And cultivate this field. Now, I do need to... I'm going to need to actually... be very careful and make sure that I don't accidentally turn left, because I ain't getting out the farm that way through that archway, am I? Get stuck under there. Now, thinking about what to do with this new field, I'm thinking at the minute we're going to go with corn. We've missed the window to plant another field of cotton, unfortunately, so we can't do that. So I suppose it's corn or soybeans, and we've got the rest of this month and next month to sort out corn and soybeans. So yeah, I think we'll just go with a bit of corn and get as much of that turned into dry corn in the future as possible in the dryer here to get more money into the bank. So yeah, hopefully should be considered a good investment, I hope. But yeah, I think I did mention in the last episode that I was considering expanding and buying another field, but turning it into grass. Now, I'm not going to do that because I have had a bit of a deeper look into the numbers that I'd need for grass. Now, we've got grass on the farm. We're growing grass and we're going to be cutting it because we need to turn that grass into silage over in the bunkers that are over at the biogas plant, and then feed that into the BGA in order to turn it into electricity, which will then power a few of the production systems that we'll have that we've got for making the fabric and turning fabric into clothes, and the oil mill to turn corn into corn oil and soybeans into soy oil, etc., etc. They all run on electricity, and that's what we need the silage for, and that's why we need the grass. But the numbers, after having a bit more of a deeper look into what's required, even though that is it 3 or 4 fields we've got? I think it's 3 fields of grass we've got on the farm. They're not particularly big, but the numbers that we're going to require, I think, means that the fields that we do have should be more than enough. Now, I'm not on auto drive here at the minute, so I don't just want to jump into the menus and start blabbing around in there. So I'm going to get myself to this field. I think we can turn here just after this field. I just had a bit of a very quick look, and I've logged this house as a landmark here and turn left at this house essentially, because there is a bit of a track going down the side. Yeah, there we go. So I'm doing my best not to drive on your garden. Sorry, mate. There we are. And our field, even though it's not rendering the texture yet. There we go. That's us there. Lovely stuff. That's not so bad, is it? Pretty easy to get here. Right. So let's pull ourselves into the field. Start getting this thing unfolded. Lovely stuff. And while I'm doing that now, I'll jump into the menu and I'll show you what I mean. So, in the production systems, where do I want to go to? I want to show the oil mill, for example. Corn oil. So if we scroll down here, corn oil requires a reasonable amount of corn, but it only requires 100 electric charge, as does it's the same story with the rice. It requires 50 electric charge if we want to turn into rice oil, and the same for soy oil as well. And the big one, the textile factory, we're going to be turning cotton into fabric, so that only requires 200 electric charge for every 1000 cotton, and then we're going to be turning that into clothing, which then in turn takes 400 electric charge. So there's not too much electricity required there numerically, and from the biogas plant we're going to be turning silage into electric charge, and from 8,484 litres of silage we're going to get 7,636 litres of electric charge. So with that in mind, across those 3 fields, is it? Let me remind myself here. I should know this off the top of my head, shouldn't I? Where are we? 1, 2, we've got 4 grass fields. So all of that, we should get more than enough grass to account for multiple multiplications, if it were. Sorry, my brain went dead there. Of the 8,484 silage to make 7,636 electric charge. You know what I mean? So we're going to have more than enough silage essentially to power the production system for the first year anyway. So yeah, with that in mind, I don't think I need to really worry too much about getting a bigger grass field to get more electricity in there. I think we're going to have more than enough. Right, anyway, so enough of my babble anyway. Let's make a good start on this. And we did, like a few episodes ago, we did swap this we started with the Salford cultivator, didn't we, that's part of the Plains and Prairies pack, but yeah, that didn't leave a good texture behind. It was leaving that weird, that texture there that you see on the neighbouring fields. It wasn't leaving a nice cultivated seedbed texture down, whereas this thing does, which is great. Let me pull myself into the field there, get a little bit of a better lineup. But yeah, so let's crack on with this. This is going to take a fair bit of time. Our new 100-acre field. Let's get it cultivated. Right then, folks, not long to go now, probably about 15-20 minutes left to get this field finished off, but this is going to take an enormous amount of work to get the soil and fertiliser levels brought up to where they should be before we can even get planting any corn. Especially, mainly the lime, of course, we need to get that built up, but yeah, it's going to take a fair bit. I think what I am going to do is deal with all this work off camera, because there is going to be multiple passes of multiple applications of nutrients to the field. Even though there's 0 nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus in the field, plus the lime, I feel it'd be a good idea. I'm going to essentially just throw a bit of nitrogen on there first, and then just to get it started a bit, and then throw some lime on there, and then when we get the crop planted, then I'll be able to, you know, top up the levels to what the soil requires for the corn that's going to be going in here. But I can't do any of that yet, because both of my sprayers are still being fixed. So yeah, we've got a bit of time ahead of me before I can get on with that, which obviously gives me a bit of time to sort out this contract to get a bit more money back into the bank. So that's after today's expenditure. But I have just been, as a result of all this money spending and expenditure and all that, I have just been looking at where we're likely to be in the future monetarily, and I'm hoping come the end of this year, beginning of next, we're going to be in a pretty good place. Now, of course, those of you who've been following the series might know this, might remember this, but those of you who have joined the series and are watching this one for the first time today, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. The idea is we're going to be the corn and the soybeans and the long grain rice and the cotton are all essentially going to go on to make different products. We're not just going to be selling the corn and selling the soybeans. With the corn that is now split between, in total we've now got or when this field is planted, we'll have 222 acres of corn. So what my idea is, this field, because it's relatively closer on the map to the production systems. This is the field that we're going to be using to turn the corn into corn oil, and the other 2 fields over on the other side of the farm there, we're going to be loading those into the silo, into the grain dryer to make dried corn. Now, financially, it's going to be pretty good. The dry corn, when it's dried, is going to be worth, it's about $998 per US ton, and the sell time for that is January. But the corn oil, that's $1,984, and that's going to be the best sell time for that is December, so that's going to be incredibly fruitful. The cotton, which the cotton is going to be something else, really, it really is, because we're going to be turning cotton to fabric and then that fabric into clothes. The clothes is something else. It's going that's going to be worth, at top dollar, $6,450, and the sell time for that is April or May next year, I think. So that's going to be an incredibly fruitful venture. Now, I did do clothes once back in FARMERSIM 22 over on my Court Farm series, and I called it Farm Arnie, but that was a very, very fruitful venture. It was an incredible one, that. So yeah, clothes are an incredible production to take advantage of, so that's one of the main reasons why we've got the cotton on the farm. The soybeans, we'll be turning the soybeans to soy oil, which is worth $2,420 at its top sell time, and that's going to be December. Soybeans on their own are worth $1,237, so it's literally almost double the price, so it's well worth doing. And the long grain rice, of course, we're going to be turning that to rice oil. Long grain rice on its own, $556 per US ton, and rice oil is $2,256, so that's another incredible uptake. Yes, we will be paying a little bit of money for the process of making it what it will be, but still, it's going to be a massively fruitful and hopefully incredibly profitable farm come next year. I hope. We shall see. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that's like I said, I just had a bit of a look into the finances there as I've been going through this job and getting this one done. But we still, like I say, we still need to get this finished and then sort out this contract. Now, the contract's paying about 18 grand, so it's not a huge amount of money, but it's still going to bring our bank account up towards closer to the 6-figure balance that we've had recently, up until today anyway. But I am glad I bought this field. I really am. I think it was a good investment, especially when it came to selling the tractors and the anhydrous toolbar and stuff. It wasn't worth just having a load of money sat in the bank to do nothing with. I may as well invest it into the farm, hadn't I? So anyway, I am aware of roughly where this video's up to time-wise, so I think I'll get this video finished off. We'll then jump in the quad track. We'll hook up the early riser planter and get over to field 97. It's not going to take too long of a job. It's not a huge field, but yeah, I'll hook up the planter and get it topped up with seed, and I'll pick you up very soon back at that field. Right then, let's get this done. I believe we are down here on the right, I think. Just make sure I get this behemoth manoeuvred around those lampposts there. There we go. Yeah, it's this big field here on the in the distance there on the right hand side. Now, I'm very keen to see how this early riser performs in comparison to how it's worked with me so far on my fields. And I know I brought it up an episode or so ago with the small patches that it seems to have left in a few of my fields that for some reason I just can't plant over. And I again, still at the minute, I don't know if it's a hello. What have I just done there? What's just happened there? Oh my word. Come on. Goodness me. I did not know that was there. Goodness me. Okay. Let's just... Oops. What's that doing there? Dug a big hole. Goodness. Yeah, let's ignore that one, ladies and gentlemen. Moving swiftly on. Oh dear me. Yeah, so I'm just I'm keen to see how this planter behaves in this field on this contract compared to how it's done on my own fields with the corn. Nothing's changed. Even coming in and out of the game hasn't made it do anything different. So, and it's this what I'm referring to here, these little patches that have just been completely missed, and it's just I just can't seem to plant over them. I can't plant over them with a base game planter either, so that's what led me to believe that it might just be a map thing and not necessarily the planter. But a couple of folks have let me know that as great as this planter is, it is known for having a couple of issues. So whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But anyway, we shall get cracking with this. Get a bit of money into the bank. There we go. I've got sorghum selected. Right. let's drill.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. I'm not heading for the stars, driving down this boulevard tonight. Yeah, playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Well, there we go, folks. Now, this is a little bit disappointing. So, as you can see, contract, top right-hand corner there, 82%. We've completely covered the field. Now, it has done what it did to me the other day on my own field. If I jump into the PDA, well, here we are in the contracts menu. It says works field 78.1%. 82% completed through the contract, but if we jump into the map, there we go. The field has, it's been covered. The whole thing has been covered. I cannot drill these little bits here that keep popping up across the field. I've been around all the corners. I've made sure every single bit of the corner has been drilled, but no, it still doesn't accept that we've done it. Now, I've genuinely had no luck with contracts. If you've watched my Whitcomb Park Farm episode the other day, you'll know I had a nightmare with harvesting contracts, but very much the other way round. The harvesting contracts were completing way quicker than they should have done. This one hasn't completed at all. So yeah, it's a little bit odd. I don't know whether it's to do with soil and fertilizer or whether it's to do with the row crop system, whether the fact that the row crop planting thing isn't being recognised properly by the contract system. So technically, do you know what I mean? Where the rows are kind of more spaced out than the traditional base game method of planting, where you just kind of just blanket the field with a crop. I don't know. I'm not too sure what to do in this scenario. Ordinarily, I'd just... Do you know what I might actually do? Just for my own peace of mind, I'm going to jump into easy development controls, and I'm just going to see if me doing this... So let's change that to contract on specified field failed. Well, we didn't fail it though, did we? So now that I've turned that to sorghum by easy development controls, it's telling me that it's failed. What does that mean? Collect 280 quid. I do $280, so I'm going to get $280 reimbursement from that. That's a bit unfair, don't you think? I'm not having that, you know. No, I'm not having that. We went out specifically to earn $18,656. So, boom, there we go. We're earning $18,656. I'm not falling foul to a game glitch. No, not up for that. But whether it's a... Do you know, it's just difficult to tell, isn't it? There's so many things going on in the background in farms, especially in this save game anyway, with you know, so many realistic mods running the row crop system, of course, soil and fertilizer. Whether is there a problem with this planter? Sorry, I don't know. Is it a combination of all three? No idea. It's just interesting that, jumping back into the PDA, that the fields that we have drilled on my own land with this case early riser planter, although it doesn't know because we drilled the cotton. That technically doesn't stand correct, but we've drilled this corn here, these soybeans, that corn, and now this contract field of sorghum, and all of those fields have had an issue where we've had this weird patchiness going on. But we did use we've used the early riser to drill the cotton over here, and the cotton was, apart from these very small amount of tiny little missed patches here, it worked perfectly fine. And of course we used the big seed hawk system for drilling the long grain rice here, and that came with its own issues, but it had nothing to do with the seed hawk. That was to do with the fields, which is now sorted. Yeah, it's just a bit of an odd one, isn't it? I'm not too sure what to suggest. Don't know what to do, but it was suggested to me that I get rid of this and replace it with the John Deere, one of the John Deere variants, but I really don't want to have to do that, because I wanted this series and this farm to be predominantly case orientated. I've used a lot of John Deere equipment in the past, and I wanted to have a bit of a red farm going on, and that's what I'm going to stick with. So it's worked fine for my fields, even though we have got a few missed patches. But for contracts, I think I'll just have to. Do you know what? I think I might just have to avoid contracts completely, because I have had my train of luck so far with contracts has been almost nil, so I might just stay away from them. Anyway, right, well, there we go for now, for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed this episode and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like as well if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And if you like the idea of supporting the channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code, if any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs. There's coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there's also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. Any help and support there, as always, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So, thanks again for your time, folks. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.